All right, thank you. Welcome to the 2024 North Carolina Poetry Society January meeting. So I'm excited to see you guys, all my friends, my fellow poets, mentors, teachers. It's just lovely to see your faces. So welcome. We've got a full day, as Melinda said in our on the agenda. We've got a full day of poetry, so I'm going to get right in. And it's a really cold morning, so it's a good day to be online and thinking about words and the way that we put them together. 6 degrees, I think it said in Boone this morning, 23 down east. In Charlotte, it's 25. So stay warm, right? And stay by the Zoom thing all day with us as we enjoy all these nice poets. So one thing we were thinking about this week is Fred Chappell and the influence he's had on North Carolina poetry. I know you guys have seen all of the huge response to him, on social media and around town. And North Carolina Poetry Society is going to do a tribute to him in the Pine Whispers that comes out in April, so you can look for that. But I wanted to just start the morning off thinking about Fred, thinking about the influence that he had, about I only knew him a little bit. I knew his work more than I knew him as a man. I met him a couple of times, but I know a lot of you guys knew him intimately or had him as a teacher at UNCG. And so I just wanted to share one of his poems and think about the spirit of Fred and honor him with this day. So just a little bit about him. Fred Chappell has many books of poetry, including The World Between the Eyes, Midquest, Source, Castle, Zingle, and C. He's the author of many novels. Most of you guys have heard I'm One of You Forever and The Bright in the Corner Where You Are. He's also he also authored 2 collections of short fiction. He received the Bollingen Prize of Poetry, numerous awards. If you haven't seen the PiPS special on Fred that came out, I think it was about a year ago, we're going to link to that on the North Carolina Poetry Society webpage, but it's really good, the short film. He was a graduate of Duke, a native of Canton, North Carolina, and then taught many years at University of North Carolina, Greensboro. And just, the face of the MFA program there. So I'm going to read a short, that's not too short, a poem called Literature. It's from Spring Garden. Here's the book. Spring Garden by Fred Chappell. And, it's really hard to choose a poem, but I liked this one because I am a student of literature, as many of you guys are. So, literature. The girls and flowers keep changing into literature until that endless languid age arrives when all the world becomes a picture catalog of gardens where men and women play chess. At love, at every animal comes gentle to the hand. Then the spirit must begin once more, untaming everything that it has tamed, forgetting all that it has paid in blood, until the blazoned phrases melt from the vellum and the gold leaf initials turn into butterflies and lift off the pages, climbing into space to find the hidden planet, all wild rose and chicory. Slow signals are emitted from that far system. The planet throbs in its orbit like a hive of sleepy bees. The seasons settle into an undying summer where poplar leaves slide in the wind like shoals of rainbow trout nibbling the river. It is a world prepared for men, but no one comes, each reader still entranced by the courtly chronicle of his native world, the book that murmurs the secret names of lovers. Mm-hmm. So that's Literature in Spring Garden by Fred Chappell. And I hope you will seek out some Fred Chappell, just to honor everything that he did for us. And I will turn it over to Sam Barbie for our PiPS readers. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. I'm here representing or standing in for Hannah Ringler. She is traveling, and I'm glad to do it. She's doing a great job. I mean, she's really grown the program. That youthful energy has really done good things for it. I was tapped out after 13 years. I needed to have a replacement and a different approach. I'm going to read the people who have signed up in the chat or told me that they wanted to read. These are all PiPS poets, and they're going to read their poems. It's Tom Anderson, Levon Adams, Karen Stewart, Maura High, Sherry Siddle, Paul Karanowski, and Glenn Cassidy. If you would like to read, please put it in the chat, and we'll work it out. It'll be fine. The way I'm going to proceed is alphabetically. When your name comes up, just please say your name, the name of your poem. I know these all have background stories and you have a great bio, but we are on the clock and we need to, move through it quickly.
Hey, Sam,
Yes.
this is Karen. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just noticing as a participant, anybody whose mic is open, the video is switching off of the speaker and on to them momentarily. So maybe we'll just remind everybody to keep muted unless they're actually the speaker.
That was next on my list.
Okay. The people were popping in while you were talking, Sam.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's get started. I'll read three names. The one is alphabetically, and please be ready when your name comes up. Kathy Bowers, Bartholomew Barker, Glenn Coates will be the first three readers. So, Kathy, proceed.
Thank you. Well, to add to the confusion, I'm not even sure if I'm reading the right poem, but I am reading from the poster. This poem is called A Documented List of the Saddest Words in the English Language. Goodbye and back to school. Lonely and if only and what might have been. Inconsolable and terminal. Bereft and broken-hearted. And the saddest of them all, what party? Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Yep. Morning, everyone. This one's called Bare Feet with Blue Nail Polish on the Dashboard. I wish my car was purple so it would match your hair, flying from the passenger seat, scented by lavender shampoo as we speed along lilac roads, past falling wisteria, and the sun subsides beneath an amethystine sky. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Our next
can I jump
reader
in?
is Glenn Cotton.
I'm sorry. Could everybody just like pause a little bit so I can get you pinned onto the screen? Just a little bit before you start. That would be great. Okay.
I guess I'm next.
Melissa, if people just use speaker view, the speaker will show up. I don't know that you need to pin them.
Shall I continue?
Yeah.
Excuse me 1 second. Glenn Coates
Yes.
is reading now. After him will be Caroline Cotton, Patricia Darcy, and Joanne Durham.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Glenn Coates. Can you folks see me?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry about this. Glenn.
Yes, I can hear you, but I'm not sure you folks can see me. I'm not sure. Is there something I should be? Yes. Is there something I should be pressing on there?
Start video.
We see a picture, not you.
No, it's me. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go.
Am I? Shall I continue then?
Please.
Okay. My name is Glenn Coates. I'm going to read Flashes. There are no footsteps, only water slipping over rocks. There are no voices, only songs falling from tall trees. There is little light, only flashes of trout feeding in shallows.
Caroline?
I'm going to read Dancer. Snowy egret glides over the lagoon, settles in cypress branches. Kabuki dancer slowly folding her fans.
Patricia Darcy?
Good morning, poets. The title of my 6-line poem is Easy Answers. Are you a mother? Impossible question. No denies their existence. Yes creates confusion. What name for us with no living children?
Joanne?
Good morning, everybody. My poem is called Cake. We call it apple cake or apple chocolate. Sometimes blueberry apple chocolate. No recipe, just the notion not to waste 4 egg whites left over from making pasta. Loose and steaming as we barely let it cool. We'd devour it all at once, except we've learned, belying expectations. Tomorrow the flavors will seep deep into one another, congeal, like us, beyond naming. And long before it can turn stale, we'll savor every crumb. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. The 3 readers now begin with Priscilla Frake, Michael Gaspiny, and Mimi Herman. Priscilla?
Good morning. My title is Poems Don't Always Do What We Tell Them. The poem was too eager to be wise, too quick to judge, too caught up in a careless turn after 8 glib lines. I told it to breathe and opened a window so it could see beyond the walls of its own quatrains. I honestly thought it had listened, but then I caught it posing with a beret and taking selfies. I had to strike it through again, and again it changed its lines. So why do I find it now on an opened page, waving its handkerchief to the room, as if to cheering crowds?
Michael?
Good morning, I'm Michael Gaspany. It's a pleasure to be a part of this chorus. I'm going to read a poem called Fast Break. That noon at the court they called the slab, none of those clowns could stop us. We snatched rebounds, whizzed passes, streaked for layups. Our shots ka-chinged the chains like old cash registers. Backpedaling after a slam, you slapped my hand and yelled, slicing them up like ham. This noon, jogging near your slab, I longed to bind vines into ropes around my shoulders and race till I freed you and you flew up jamming. Sweaty, stinking, we'd glug tall boys again, play crosscut saw on the jukebox at Angels.
Mimi?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mimi Herman, and this is How to Say No. Practice it plain, unadorned, and completely unmourned. Not no thank you or I'm sorry, but no, as it is. No sugar to sweeten it, no cream to soften it. Take it hot and take it black, but whatever you do, don't take it back.
All right, our next readers, John Hoppenthaler, Kelly Jones, and Paul Jones. John, you're up. I saw him earlier. John Hoppenthaler.
Sorry, had to unmute myself. Single life with cardinal and American goldfinch. A bird I'd never seen ere, bright yellow with a black cap, black flare of wings, leapt free from the oak into light, alit in a straggle of grass at the roadside's edge, where a muddy red cardinal was feeding solo. Before long, they seemed blithely domestic, no wedge severing their peace at the table, so forgive my conjecture of bliss. It was only the birds were not lovers. The birds were just lonely. Thank you.
Kelly Jones.
Good morning. Good morning. This title of this poem is called Night Lily. There is a stillness that lingers when we are planted in grief. We become rooted to time, branched in memory, our feet covered in familiar decay, fertilized by the remains of our children. We wither by the harsh light of shadowless day. We grow by the breathless light of stars. In the comfort of our own night, we stretch our tendrils towards the unblinking moon and drop our tears by dawn on the glistening ground, pulling our blooms deep within. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir Paul?
The red vinegar sauce, with apologies to William Carlos Williams. So much depends on the red vinegar sauce, drizzled on pulled pork beside the white coleslaw.
All right, next three. Joan Leota, Rita Lewis, Nancy Martin Young. Joan?
Hi, thank you for inviting me. I'm going to read I Wish to Wear Orion's Belt. I'm charmed by how the three, Zeta, Epsilon, and Delta, together show the way to other more elaborate star constructions. How the sky holds Orion's parts together, gives his weapons a resting place. I've often reached for Orion's belt, hoping to wind its power around my own waist, to send me in a new direction, use it to hold my weapons, to keep my inner and outer selves together. Thanks.
Rita?
I'm Rita Lewis. The title of this poem is A Little Called Anything, after Gertrude Stein. 'Twas now and anything can't find yesterday to remember milk. What aisle has chocolate or just plain tired? Very small, we trust the manager to usher us to the brightest tunnel, to forever the songs that chaperone hearts toward the back of childhood.
Nancy?
Morning, I'm Nancy Martin Young, and my poem is Unexpected Duet. The bird perched in a thicket beside the path, nondescript, gray, like the branches it hid in. I passed as it sang two notes, pure and fluting, so I stopped to listen, then, given the invitation, pursed lips and blew a rusty whistle, a bit off pitch. The bird replied with two notes I knew as E to C, like the beginning of a forgotten dance tune, a Bach beret I used to play. So I sent back my song, this time in tune and clear. Our aria lasted several verses, sounding over the ravine, till my dogs, restive and needy, tugged their leashes, a signal to go on, head home, halt the impromptu duet. But the bird sang on, faster, insistent, a lover's plea, leaving me pierced and guilty and strangely empty, as if I had made a promise I could not keep. Thank you.
Next three readers, Valerie Neiman, Linda Phillips, and David Poston. Val?
Hi, I'm Valerie Neiman. I'm reading I'm Obliged. I free a sapling ready to break, bent by an old tree's thud, kick away sticks and mud barring a pool from its creek. My country upbringing obliges me to hunker down with bare hands clear November from spring. Here lives a woman who sets down milk, then chow in a pan, then leaves the back door open after dark, at midnight, till dawn.
Linda? Linda Phillips? Are you muted, Linda? We'll come back. David Poston. Okay. Danny Powell, Pat Revere-Seal, Maria Raphael. Go ahead, Danny.
Good morning. My poem is Uncle Bob, the one who reached deep in his pockets for coins to amuse us. But soon he and his fancy suits vanished, leaving my aunt with 4 under 8. Instead of child support, he'd return now and then with cans of black olives and wait outside in his Buick, hair slicked, hoping for a glimpse of his kids, while my aunt stayed inside and wept. To get by, she taught piano, played at weddings, funerals, years of this, and we thought she was over him. But no, toward the end, her mind deep in a tangled wood, she'd tell the aides at the nursing home to quick call the preacher. Bob was back in town and they were going to marry at noon.
Pat? I just saw her.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Pat?
Lord, please.
Revere-Seal?
Pat, you're muted.
Maria?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's great to be with everybody. My poem is This Small House, This Big Sky. This small house, my heart's center, where the world entered and sat down, and I greeted it as a mysterious guest. My first words swelling into sentences and song. North to the barred owl in the backyard's red oak, and the clothesline strung with bed sheets post to post. South to the sawmill and the dray horses pulling flatbeds of logs. East where a gravel road snaked toward the bay, and long clouds steamed from the loud freight train. West and a highway curving into the pines, and a pond where we swam, where a laughing boy in my class did not drown one afternoon, but caught polio instead. He never walked again. His mother cried, my mother kept me close, and the sky stared at us in silence. Every day in those days, I wondered why that boy and not me.
Next three readers, Melinda Thompson, Amber Watson, and Eric Wheel. Melinda?
This is called Finding a Book You Love. On the last page, if your tears well up, then stream down and fall from your jaw, so you keep wiping them off with your hand, you'll know loneliness and gratitude just collided.
Amber?
Amber Watson. The title of this poem is The Hourglass. Hardly noticeable at first, the outer edge of a leaf begins to brown and curl inward as though a match were held a little too close. Soon, a ring of red leaves rests on the water's edge. An impending shift of cool air settles before sunset. It's not long before light fades entirely this time of day. Each leaf, a tiny grain of sand hitting the bottom of the hourglass. At night, my body radiates heat gathered from a diminishing sun. Freckles map my shoulders, a reminder even the smallest details fade over time.
Eric?
My name is Eric Weil, and this poem is The Rider. Left boot in its stirrup, the rider launches herself onto the bay gelding's back, pats his neck, ponytail peeking from the helmet. They begin their journey through a world of obstacles, her hands and knees guiding the gleaming bay, who turns when the rider turns her head, swells like a wave over each painted rail, pounds dirt. As they pivot to face the final set of jumps, she risks another neck pat before leaping toward her vision of the rider she will become. Thanks.
Thank you. Kathy Weisfield and Jennifer Weiss.
Before I read, I want to say that Pat Revere-Seal was muted when she read, so maybe she could read again.
Yeah, I've got it.
Kathy Weisfeld, Energy Field, after Alan Watts. If a flower had a god, would it be a huge blossom in the sky, dropping petals and pollen to propagate the earth, a quintessential fragrance, an idealized image, the most vibrant hue to which every flower aspires? Would it stand in a field, feel through its roots a pattern of existence, discovering the exaltation of the whole field?
Jennifer?
Thank you. My poem is Caveat Emptor, which is Latin for buyer beware. Have you heard? Mid-century moderns are the bomb. Good bones, straight lines, great views. I am mid-century modern. Porous bones, lumpy lines, cataracts obscuring the scenery. Ongoing repairs needed, creaky joints, musty rooms, cracks in the foundation. Still, a fine place to reside, though demand subsides. Wisdom, no substitute for aesthetics. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's double back. I've got Linda Phillips, David Poston, and Pat. Linda Phillips, are you with us? Okay. David? Okay. Go ahead, Pat.
I'm back. What the
Yay.
moon? Hi, everybody. What the moon knows. She knows shadow, how to slip behind clouds. She's perfected the art of disappearing. She knows how to empty herself into the sky, whisper light into darkness. She knows the power of silence, how to keep secrets, even as men leave footprints in the dust, try to claim her. Waxing and waning, she summons the tide. Whole and holy symbol, she remains perfect truth, tranquility. friend and muse. She knows the hearts of lovers and lunatics. She knows she is not the only one that fills the sky, but the sky is her only home.
Okay, that completes the list that I had, but I have this supplemental list, and I'm going to read all the names to make sure everyone's on there who is a PiPS poet who wants to read their PiPS poem from the last 2 years. Tom Anderson, Levon Adams, Karen Stewart, Maura High, Sherry Siddle, Paul Karenowski, Glenn Cassidy, Deborah Kaufman, and Janet Bivens. Okay, let's get started then. Tom Anderson, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very new to this, so no one was more surprised by this honor than me. My poem is entitled Just a Dog. She was just a dog rescued by a boy, unknowing the depth of love. She was just a dog who guarded the coffee table, ate unmentionable things as she attached herself to our hearts. She was just a dog who threaded herself through lives that were scattered and full and ever-changing. She was just a dog, companion, shadow, loner, aggravating, endearing. She was just a dog we said goodbye to on the 4th of July. So next year's fireworks and those that follow will remind us that she was not just a dog. Thank you.
Thank you. Levon?
Habitat. The dark bones of trees rise from shallow water, yards from shore. They look like antlers planted in the sea. Based on habitat and skeletal arch of its canopy, I guess live oak, no longer living. Anchored nearby, a sightseeing vessel spills out tourists who wander along the sand, snap selfies, gather cowries and clamshells, marvel at each tree as if it were a Venus de Milo. I've seen news stories featuring these ghost trees, like arboreal versions of Munch's silent scream, the result of increased salinity and rising seas, leafless shadows on foaming surf, dark veins disappearing into dusk.
Karen Stewart?
Right. I am Karen Stewart, and I'm actually a PiPS poet for this coming year. I just didn't get the message about needing to sign up today. Sorry. My poem is My Dear Ancient Cattywampus Dogwood. Even as your roots are rising up from the soil, gnarled like arthritic fingers, you try to keep hold of this earth. You try to lift lopsided limbs to the sky. You try to embrace the sun. You stand still weathering any storms and offering any shade you can muster. I love you. And this is everything. This is all that there is. And maybe a metaphor. Maybe this is enough.
Very good. If I could remind everyone, if you are not currently reading, please mute your audio. Maura High, Sherry Siddle, and Paul Karenowski. Maura? You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. This is the PiPS poem. Very short. No apples. But for those frosts, the crabapple would be gravid with fruit now, and the path beneath it cobbled with June drops. There would be a feast here at the edge of the road, not some green tree bowed over the earth, trying to draw from it the old faint smell of cider, a memory of wasps and mildew. Thank you.
Okay. Sherry?
I'm Sherry Siddle. This is Night Ship. The compass of our bodies leads us through another moonless night, cresting waves of sleep, steered by phosphorescent dreams that knit our cells whole again, or as whole as they can be after years on this sea. The dark has no power over us as we roll on our ship of tossed and wrinkled sheets, the shushing of syrupy crickets, a white noise leaking beneath the cracked window. As dawn approaches once again, the dogs stir and lick our hands.
Paul Karnowski?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. This poem is called If Then. If there's more to snow than melting, more to waves than churning, more to leaves than burning, then there's more to loss than losing, more to grief than crying, more to death than dying.
Nice. The next four, which are our last ones that I have currently listed: Glenn Cassidy, Deborah Kaufman, Janet Bivens, and Liza Wolfe Francis. So, Glenn, you're up.
Hi, I'm Glenn Cassidy, and my poem is titled Paul Robeson. A voice deep as the Mississippi carries more cargo than a riverboat.
Okay. Deborah?
Yeah, thank you. My poem is called Prayer. A bee lazes over the wine glass rim. The glass is chilled, the wine crisp. This early evening, everything is delicate. To be still a gift, to be here another. My heart, ragged with wear and grief, skips a half step and begins to hum. Let me hold this moment before the sting. Thank you.
And Liza, go ahead.
Lucky. I'm lucky the North Carolina green seems to come to me like I am of it, part of all its creepy crawlies, of its earth and stain, its weathered plant and flower, like I am one with this beauty. I am vine, a dandelion, a squirrel, a crow, an elm, a rock, a single grain of dirt, many grains caked up like mud. I never dreamt of being so beautiful. I'm lucky the green came to me, welcomed me home like there's no one who wishes to be here, who can't be here, loving the earth, wanting us all to feel this green like gold.
And we've got two more signed up to read their PiPS poem. And remember, there is an open mic after this, I think you can sign up for with Regina. Just for college try here, Linda Phillips and David Poston, were you able to join us? I guess not. Well, very good. I congratulate all of you for your success with your PiPS poems, and that will conclude our part of the program.
Thank you, Sam.
Yep, glad to do it.
Yeah, why don't we, I've got Sam here. Thank you so much, Sam, for jumping in and doing this. It is awesome, just awesome. And Hannah Ringler is on her way back from Germany. I think she's in a plane right now. So that's why she is not here, but this was great. Thank you so much. I'm removing the pins here. So if you all want to unmute and give everybody a round of applause, that would be so everybody can get all their love, right? Good. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
So,